These shoes were inspired by the HBO series Entourage. It aired from 2004 to 2011 and was loosely based on Mark Wahlberg's rise to fame and his entourage of friends that rolled with him along the way. These shoes were on display in the Hollywood section of the ShoeZeum in their very own Entourage exhibit. I had the Season 1 DVD propped up on display next to these shoes, and I also had this Undefeated carpet. And the reason the carpet was there was an episode where DJ AM and Turtle are racing to an Undefeated store to pick up a pair of limited edition Air Force Ones. As it happens, DJ AM beats Turtle to the punch. And these are the actual shoes from the show, the ones from the set. I purchased them from DJ AM's personal collection. You can see right here is the paperwork, the certificate of authenticity, and then the eBay papers on the back. I paid $3,050 for this pair of shoes, and at the time it was the most money that I had ever spent on a pair of sneakers. And the crazy thing about that purchase is I don't really love Air Force Ones, and I don't really love Entourage, but I love collectible sneakers and I love DJ AM, so I thought that I absolutely needed to have these in the ShoeZeum. And let's check them out. So these shoes are samples, they were never sold to the public, and when you look at the box, they're called Air Force One Premium Georges. I don't know who George is, maybe one of you guys do. If you do, please leave a comment and let me know. But these shoes are known as the Entourages, the Turtles, the Fuki Jamas, and sometimes people call them lasers because you can see this laser etching that goes around the heel. The tongue of the shoe has the Undefeated logo. There's laser etching right over here on the heel that says Undefeated. And the back tab says 112.5 La Brea, which is the address of Undefeated in Hollywood. But the funny thing about that is the episode was filmed in Venice Beach at the Undefeated store on Main Street. So they messed up along the way when they put the address of the wrong store. The shoes also say fictional reality, which is a reference to the shoes being based on Marky Mark's life. And let's check out this one. You've got the Entourage logo on the tongue. It says Queens Boulevard back here on the heel, which is a movie that Vince, the main character in Entourage, was cast in. And the shoe also says Entourage back here. Up here it's going to say Bruce Kilgore. He was the original designer of the Air Force One back in 1982. These are my favorite pair of Air Force Ones in my collection. And believe it or not, there's an even rarer pair of Entourage Air Force Ones. They sold the last time around that they even popped up on eBay for more than $20,000. There's a pair of them in Mark Parker's office, the CEO of Nike. And DJ AM also had a pair, but his family decided to hang on to them. They're amazing, they're gold, they come in a crazy box. It's my holy grail of shoes. I really hope one day I find it. Let's check out these pairs of Dunk SB Entourages. And at a first glance, they look like they're really similar to one another, but they're actually very different. And I want to use these sneakers as a catalyst to sort of talk about how the sneaker game has evolved. And the first thing I want to do as we're going to compare these shoes is flip these top ones so that you can see their outsoles. And you'll notice right away that the pair right in front of me has black outsoles, whereas these two pairs have gum. The black ones are the Friends and Family Hyper Strikes, and they're really, really rare, and they're worth a ton of money. These right here are the Quick Strike Entourage Edition, and these over here are known as the Nontourage, and they're also Quick Strikes. And I want to take you through these shoes. So you'll notice that the upper is this beautiful black suede with black elephant print going all around it. You can't go wrong with a shoe like this. This colorway is amazing. What makes the Friends and Family Hyper Strike so rare is that when you look at the tongue, it actually says Entourage and has the Entourage logo and branding on the shoe. And on the inside, on the insole, it's also going to say Entourage. All of these shoes were made for the last season, for the very last episode of Entourage, and they're known as the Lights Out Edition, as though the lights were going out on the production of the show. On the insole of this shoe, it's going to say The End, in reference to the show ending. So these shoes were only available to the cast of Entourage and people that worked on the show. This pair was given to me. You can see that the box is autographed. It says, Jordan, your collection brings back great memories. Enjoy these. Entourage. Live it, These shoes are very special to me. I heard that there are only 24 pairs in the world. I also heard 48 pairs, but whether it's 24 or 48, they're very, very tough to get a hold of. And now let's work our way over here. This shoe, which is almost identical to the Friends and Family Hyper Strike, is the Entourage Quick Strike. Hyper Strikes are more rare than Quick Strikes. And you'll notice that the tongue of this shoe does not say Entourage. But this shoe does say Entourage on the insole. So the upper of the shoe, they removed the branding, but they kept it on this shoe on the insoles. And this one's going to say The End as well. I love these shoes. You'll also notice that there's this sort of brownish gum-colored Nike on the back, whereas the Hyper Strike has it in white. Very, very small differences, but very, very big price difference when it comes to this shoe versus this shoe. This shoe goes for between $1,000 and $2,000, and this shoe's worth about $500. Let's work our way over to this one. So the Non-Tourage, as it's called, looks identical to the Friends and Family Quick Strike, but it doesn't have any of the Entourage branding. So not on the tongue and not on the insole. So these shoes sort of get progressively less in terms of how much of Entourage is being shown on the shoes. It's kind of creative that Nike and people are calling them the Non-Tourage. And this isn't the only time that this has happened. Lately, Nike's been releasing really cool shoes, especially Dunks, and they'll come out with one that's a Friends and Family Hyper Strike that's super rare and super valuable, and then a little while later, they'll release maybe a Quick Strike, or maybe not even a Quick Strike, just a general release of a very similar shoe. And I want to show you another pair of shoes that are very much Hollywood inspired. Here they are. These just came out in July. This pair is the Hyper Strike, and it's known as the Brooklyn Project Walk of Fame. These shoes are meant to look like the Hollywood stars on Hollywood Boulevard, the ones that say all of the famous actors and singers' names. You can see right here is a little mini star of Michael Jackson that I bought to put on display next to these cool shoes. Now, these ones were released only at a store called Brooklyn Projects. There were only 450 pairs made. You'll notice that the tongue of the shoe has the BP logo, and then on the heel, it actually says Brooklyn Projects. Now, when you compare these Friends and Family Hyper Strikes to the Quick Strikes that were made available at other skate shops all over the place, these ones do not say Brooklyn Project on the back, and you've got your regular Nike SB tag on the tongue as opposed to the Brooklyn Projects logo. So these shoes came out crazy hyped up, lines all around Melrose, which is where Brooklyn Projects is located. They sold out immediately. They're worth about $300 to $400. Then about 6 weeks later, Nike launched this shoe, which was more readily available, and you can obtain it for around $150 or so. When I was growing up, this was not something that was going on in the sneaker game. A pair of shoes would come out. It was available in maybe 3 or 4 colors. Maybe if it was Michael Jordan, he would have his own special colorway. But the game has changed, and it really reminds me of baseball card collecting. When I was growing up also, baseball cards, there was just a set with 1 card per player, and then it became all about the limited edition models, the super rare ones. The cool thing is there are ones available that you can wear and not feel so bad about. It's really tough to get a hold of the Friends and Family Hyper Strikes. I would expect to see lots more of this stuff to come.